the point zero where everything goes back before going back to the field and nourishing the plant. So everything goes back to the compost, then the compost goes back to the field, the plants grow, you have residues, back to the compost, and again and again and again. That's very important in a farm, to organize the flow of material in cycles, that you never lose anything. Because as soon as you lose something, you lose fertility, in fact.
That's great.
Yeah, your shadow is there.
No, just avocado.
What are you eating?
Avocado. Well, so are they.
Go for it, go for it.
Ouais, les feuilles c'est pas mal, elles sont bien rosées quoi. Même la merde elle est sèche. Ouais. Chicken litter, and you make pies. You can also put greens, but for the moment we don't have. So, and the spontaneous reaction will. Là comme ça. Allez, du coup je bouge le tracteur, tu le promènes. Allez.
My favorite work. Yeah. Maybe we like what the
Secret.
What time is it now?
30 something.
போங்க ஸ்ட்ரைட்டா போங்க சீக்கிரமா போங்க
Hey, come please, come.
அது நீ எடுத்துக்கோ Yeah, I'm ready. You can talk about it.
About compost? You
Yes.
want to know about compost? So, what to say? Compost is like a kind of concentrate of soil. What you try to manage, what you try to do in a compost is just to mimic the process of decomposition of organic matter, which become naturally compost in soil, in the forest, for instance. But you do it in a pile. You do it in an accelerated way, and you do it in a concentrated way. And it's also, I would say, an economic necessity in a farm, because in a farm you are obliged to recycle a lot of material. So many things that you cannot put directly in a field or on a bed. So it's a good way, in fact, to it's like you know, the point zero where everything goes back before going back to the field and nourishing the plant. So everything goes back to the compost, then the compost goes back to the field, the plants grow, you have residues, back to the compost, and again and again and again. That's very important in a farm, to organize the flow of material in cycles, that you never lose anything. Because as soon as you lose something, you lose fertility, in fact. And yeah, compost is a good tool for that. You're not obliged to do a compost. In agroforestry, for instance, you try to compost things, you try to mimic a forest. So you try to make that the composting process occurs naturally at the bottom of the trees. But well, we are still not at that point, so we are obliged to do compost piles. But I would like to stop that. Maybe in 10 years we will stop making making compost, because we will have enough trees and enough capacity to recycle material. Also, something important, compost becomes a necessity when you cannot fully integrate animal and plants. But if you manage to integrate them, for instance, to let your cows graze under the trees or in a field, you don't need compost. They just poo where they are, and everything goes around like this without you moving anything. But that's not where we are for the moment. For the moment, we have cows under the trees, right? We have free range for the chickens, but we also keep them inside the coop, and so we collect the chicken manure. And this chicken manure must be recycled. Look, we have a huge piles of it, and it's a stinky material, very tricky to use, very powerful also. So a simple way to use it and to recycle it into the farm is to incorporate it into the compost. That's what we do. Same for cow dung, because cows are kept in a shed, which is just over there, where they are milked every day, and they spend the night here. So we have cow dung without this cow dung being spontaneously integrated with the plant. So we have to recycle it through the compost. But ideally, I would prefer to have a full integration of animals and plants, and ideally I would prefer not to make compost piles. That's I don't say it's a hassle. We love it. It's like making a cake. We are proud of it, but it's a lot of work, and it implies that you move things, and moving things means petrol, means effort, means a lot of things. That's not sustainable. I said that making compost is not sustainable. Of course, it's a bit extreme. Some activists in France say that, claim that, and they are right in a way, because it means that you have failed upstream. You have failed in your integration of all your agricultural system. But it's fine, it's fine. Temporarily, it's fine. So we do compost, we make compost. You can also see that as a necessity, temporary necessity, which comes from the fact that the farm has to be healed. Because we took the farm 6 years ago. It was a conventional farm, and all the cycles were broken. So now the compost appears also like a medicine, like a bit like an homeopathic preparation that you make like a medicine for your soil. So for a while we need medicine.
Do you have side effect with that?
No, there is no side effect. The side effect of the compost is that you lose, when you compost a pile, I think you lose quite a lot of carbon. If you do it well, you can gain nitrogen. So it's a balance. And as you can see, we also use the compost as a way to integrate ashes. Theoretically, you should never burn anything in a farm, because burning is losing carbon. But sometimes, when it's a thorny plant, when it's a bamboo that we cannot shred, cannot use otherwise, you burn them. But you have to burn them consciously. And we burn a few things, and when we burn things, we collect ashes, because in the ashes some elements like phosphorus and potassium are concentrated. And so we return these ashes into the compost pile, so that at the end it will return to the field. And we do also something, we integrate charcoal which has been given by a neighbor, Bernard from Pebble Garden. We have crushed it with the same machine, in fact, and we integrate it into the compost. The charcoal is like a sponge. It helps the soil to retain elements, water, nutrients, bacteria and everything. As our soil is a poor soil, it's a red soil which retains nothing, we try to incorporate more charcoal in it to enhance its capacity to retain elements. So a good way to do it is to incorporate it into the compost. Then it will go to the field and will be spread and will amend your soil everywhere. And it's also important because as it's a sponge, if you put it directly into your soil, it will suck all the nutrients at the moment when you put it. And if you try to cultivate a crop at the same moment, it will fail or it will have some difficulty to grow because there will be a competition between the charcoal and the plant. So a good way to proceed is what we do. You just incorporate your charcoal into your compost pile so that the charcoal is charged with elements, and when you spread the resulting compost into your field, your charcoal is ready. It will nourish the plant.
So is it something like doing like red soil into like a black soil sort of thing? Is that one of the processes?
Somehow, yes. And I could show you the picture of the soil sample I've taken last week. I've taken one sample in uncultivated bare soil and a special place where we know that it's more or less a reference soil. It's a soil as it was 6 years ago, almost everywhere. And I also took 4 samples in cultivated beds, and that's incredible because the bare in cultivated soil is completely red, and the 4 samples coming from the beds are now becoming brownish, blackish, and the consistency is also different. And yes, the result is that our soil is becoming slowly more black, more brown, more dark, and it means that the organic content, carbon content is increasing. And incorporating charcoal is also a way to go in that direction. I'm not talking about what we call here the black soil. Black soil here designate clayish soil, which is good for paddy, and that we don't have here at all. But our red soil is becoming more blackish. Yeah. In general, the color of the soil tells something about the content, organic content and carbon content. The more it's tends to the black, brown, the best it is. The more it goes to the yellow, red, orange, the worse it is. So we started from a very red soil, and now we are reaching a fairly good brown soil. Yeah.
So how you want to end this process?
There is no end. Why?
No. I mean this video.
I don't know.
So how was
you are the one
Show
who
me
knows.
your hand.
My hands are, yeah. You can see. This is some soil sample taken in a uncultivated bare soil, just at the middle of the road, which is not taken by any vehicle. So we know that it represents, but it cannot be cultivated. It stayed bare, so it represents the state of the soil when plants are not growing on it, are not bettering the soil. And look at how it's red. We are really on a red soil. That's impressive, the color. And then the 4 other samples are samples taken in beds, just next door there, and beds which are cultivated. And you can see that colors are different, but look, the difference is fully red, and then we reach something which is really black here. The bed 7 is excellent. Can see the difference between the sample taken in bed 7 and this one? That's incredible. Only 6 years of conversion, 6 years of consistent care of the soil, covering it, mulching, composting, everything. That's crazy. So look.
It's a holiday time?
Lunchtime in Palmyra, Auroorchard. So we will have the results soon. These 5 samples are being tested in Auroville's lab, just other side, opposite the highway, because we start a trial with terra preta and charcoal in the beds there, in the 4 beds which are there, and we want to see what happens to our soil when we amend it with charcoal and terra preta. And so these 2 beds will be amended with terra preta. These 2 beds have the same history, but they will not be amended with terra preta, so we will compare. In fact, this one is a control for this one, and this one is a control for this one. And this is the reference soil, which is the red soil as it is when we don't take care of it. And in 1 year, 2 years, we will see how are these 2 to receive the terra preta. The 3 and 4. We are very curious. But you have to follow up now.
Ninja chai. No, I can see Ninja chai. Mohini, you? Ninja chai. Hey guys, I want to be a ninja. Oh yeah. Tommy, I love that juice. Mira, nana juice. You say what is it? In neem tree, they call it nana juice. Nana juice. What? What is this? Oh shit. No, you can put it. It's good. Thank you. Hey! Did I give you?
This is the best food in the whole universe. Harsha is the best cook in the whole... what's bigger than the universe? I don't know.
Maybe a Milky Way or something?
The Milky Way. Thank you.
Yam had cheese. Yam had cheese.
No, cheese I gave. Okay, I will put everything for you, Manu.
But not on this.
Not on this. Then you want in a corner?
Yeah.
Huh? What else you want?
What's that?
Cheese sauce. Can I put these here?
Hello, good morning.
What's 2 plus 4? Eating in the gas station.
How does the camera work? It's a question to you.
That's a good question for me.
Yeah.
With Murugbadi.
Spoke with Murugbadi. We need to just confirm a day.
Snake!
Ah! Oh.
Meet,
That's
your
the
job.
TLC spirit.
Huh?
Meet,
That's
your
the
job.
TLC spirit.
So yeah, we spoke to him and he's...
Why are you filming Poe's butt?
That.
A beehive?
Yeah.
Which kind of bee?
Serena.
Serena.
It's big. It's huge.
Not ready. There! There!
Introduce, go!
Why?
Shut up!
Okay, Christian, you introduce yourself.
You know who I am.
You shut
No,
up!
they don't know. They don't know.
They don't know
You
who I
don't
am.
know who I am.
You shut up!
Hey, don't throw.
Yeah, but they are not listening. In fact, they don't care very much.
Ah! What did you eat?
I eat the same thing that as you did. You eat. I think it's a chapati.
I'm a dead!
Chapati, tomato, onion. What did you have?
I live in my tray too.
Matria.
I also live in my tray.
Yes.
And
So you're best friends. Apparently.
no, actually after 3 days. And I come from Italy.
Yeah, but stop. No, go.
And
Rob, I eat here every day.
South Korea.
South Korea and
I
Italy.
eat here every day.
And France. And what? Where do you come from, Sean?
I'm from India. What about you? You want to ask any question to him? It's your chance now.
It's okay.
You want to ask about tomato? You want to ask him about tomato?
I play you.
Tomatoes?
We can
Let's talk about paprika, about taro, about sweet potatoes, about things which really grow here. Because tomato, carrots can grow here, but only once a
Wait,
year.
did you ever eat
So
pasta with tomato carrot sauce? Carrot? Tomato and carrot sauce pasta.
that's good. All year round here. We should eat more of it. The taro is so good, so good.
Elephant food.
Elephant food.
You have here?
We tend here to reproduce our habits from outside. You know, we like tomatoes, we like carrots, we like zucchinis, and but zucchini don't grow here.
And I know a game called Mini.
Cabbage is very difficult. So
That's so nice.
it's too hot. All these plants. Get a part of your basket given by the time credit.
Okay. Ah, that's nice.
We launched that 1 year ago, and it works great.
It gives incentive for people to come and go.
You know how to cook tapioca?
I chip them like a little bit. I have to boil properly.
You have to boil it. And same for tapioca, you have to boil it in the evening. You have first to tapioca, you have to remove the thin skin, the thick skin, and that's important because it contains a poison. So you remove the thick skin, you cut it in pieces, opening and it becomes soft. You just stop the fire, but you let it into the water for the full night.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the trick.
Okay, and then next step?
And in the morning, you just remove the water, you put it in fridge, and you do what you want. You can fry it, you can... Turmeric, salt, pepper, fry it. Wow. That's so good.
I want pomelo. I like it. In salad, it's so good.
Yeah, yeah. What else? I'm sure there is a lot of things. Bye! Bye, Arsha! See you, Sean. See you.
Bye bye.
Mm-hmm.